Every game says it's a masterpiece, but let's be real, most of them are lying.
Welcome to Good, Great, or Garbage, the series where I play games that you're talking about and some that you probably should have ignored. We're talking new releases, underrated gems, and just some overhyped disasters. And there can only be three outcomes: good, great, or garbage.
Please do keep in mind that these are all my personal opinions based on my experience with the game at the time of recording. I may not know everything about the game, so just bear with me.
All right, let's hop right into this. Greetings, the new skates, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Good, Great, or Garbage. Today, the game we cover is Swordburst 3. Now, a little backstory on this before we do get into the actual review of the game. Swordburst 2 was one of my first Roblox games that really brought me to the platform. Like one of the Roblox games that I decided I wanted to dedicate my life to. Back in the day, Sword Art Online and Swordburst 2, I'm pretty sure they was around the same time. I might be getting the time wrong, but I just know I was watching Sword Art Online while I was playing Swordburst 2, so I had that nostalgic feeling. So naturally, Swordburst 3 is the game that I got a lot of emotional connection with. Swordburst 2 truly had the Sword Art Online experience. For those who still sleep on Roblox games, I want you to imagine something, alright? Have you ever wanted to live in an anime? Be isekai in an anime world, or experience life in an anime world? Roblox anime games is the closest you're gonna get to that. In my Roblox anime game community, brothers know. From the progression to the community to, farming materials, this is the closest that you're gonna get. Building your character up from the ground up. Literally, seeing the same people that you probably don't know, but because some games are so small, you see the same people and you run phase with them every time. It gives the most anime feeling. Anyway, back to the topic. Swordburst 3 currently has around 100 active players, over 250,000 favorites, and 32 million visits. So this game falls in the underrated category or fallen off category. And as someone who fell in love with Swordburst as a franchise, I genuinely question why. Did this game really deserve the fall off that it had? So I asked you guys on stream. Again, if you aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of these streams, and follow me on TikTok if you want to see me there. Everyone that played Swordburst 3 had the same three responses. 1, I used to play the game, but then I just stopped. I don't know why. 2, I got max and there was really none to do. And 3, I just got bored of the repetition and the game fell off, so I really just didn't have a reason to come back. And none of these are bad answers, but let's really dive into why this game had such a fall off. Starting with the repetition of Swordburst. Now, we all know that Swordburst falls into the quest spam, bandit beating category of Roblox games, and that's just being blunt. But when you really think about it, that was kind of the whole anime of SAO. The Aincrad arc of SAO. Bro, Kirito was out here farming XP off camera. We just didn't get to see that because it was so boring and they wanted to actually include fight scenes. So to say Swordburst is just a bandit beater or it's just a quest farm is generalizing the game in a sense with other quest farm types of games, because again, that was the whole point of Aincrad. To level up fighting mobs, upgrade your gear, and fight the big bad boss all the way up on floor 100 to free everybody. The only difference is they were stuck in the game and we can log off and go to sleep. But don't get me wrong, this does not excuse the game for being boring. Swordburst 3 does need more quality of life content in my personal opinion. Other ways to make progressing interesting. I saw they added some fishing mechanics and the endless tower mode, and it's exactly implementations like that the players love and brings in more of a player base. Different ways to spend your time in the game instead of giving the player base like one thing to do. Giving them different goals to reach instead of just farming hours for a slightly cool looking map or a 1% drop. With the announcement of Grand Alfheim, Holy War X, Rail Seas, and maybe some other high-end titles, games are taking a step in a new direction in terms of progression. So these linear, repetitive bandit beaters that we got right now, they're just not gonna cut it no more. Give the players the variety and entertainment instead of locking players into just one way of progressing to be so-called anime accurate. What I mean by that is, just because an anime is a bandit beater doesn't mean the game gotta be a bandit beater. Or just because the anime only has one race just doesn't mean the game should only have one race. Incorporate some, be creative with it. You don't gotta be just based off the anime, and that's it. The best games got the most collaboration of ideas. And we as players need to be creative and speak up. Now, I can't stress this point enough, so I'm gonna make this own little segment. Alright, just own little short dedicated segment. I believe that Roblox games and developers can grow and improve just like all things. Who are we to say just because a game starts off good and has a downfall that it won't ever come back, or it has no hope of coming back, or the game is just gonna fall off and that's it? Because it's us, the players, that decide things like that. As players, we have all the power over the game to simply stop playing. We can just stop playing and the game dies. We can also play the game and send in suggestions that the dev can take and, you know, improve their game off of. I know devs already get like hundreds, if not thousands of suggestions depending on the game, and some devs don't listen. But for the devs that do listen, and this is mainly for the passion projects out there, giving the content players ask for and constantly updating the game, why should we give up on it just because we don't like the current state? Developers are people just like us. Me and you, whoever's behind this list watching this, we're people, and so are the developers of these games. They're not robots, they're not AI generated. No, they're human beings just like us. I can't imagine the stress of trying to please a community of thousands of fans because I'm not a developer. You probably not a developer. So the only thing I can relate to is being a regular human being. We all make mistakes. We all have flaws. We all bleed the same colored blood. So let's all just be creative as players and give back to the devs and projects that actually pour passion into these things. This segment may have nothing to do with Swordburst 3 itself because I'm not tapped in with the devs or, you know, the game in general because I haven't played it in a while. I do see, regardless of their current player count, they still push out quality updates and pretty consistent updates. Like there was a Valentine's update the other day. At the time of recording this, is February 18th. Grampy's Online you didn't drop a Christmas update till like 3 months after Christmas, and it was probably still going for like an extra 2 months. Bro, there's small games that really pour a lot of passion into their games. They just, you know, they might not have the guidance from the community, or the community might not be giving enough feedback. So games and devs that really pour passion to their games, we as players gotta pour back into it because we have all the power to decide if this game lives or if it dies by simply playing the game. I want to talk about this game's combat because, oh my lord. And before I say this, hold on. I just want to make this clear. Alright, Swordburst 3 is one of my favorite games on this platform. I enjoy the simplicity of it. I like the anime and I really enjoy the game. But I gotta keep it a stack, bro, because holy fuck, this combat genuinely pisses me off, bro. Like, bro, why am I fighting a helicopter NPC spinning in circles because of the slightest twitching movement from my character? Why? Devs, we gotta look into this because there's no way this is still a problem. It got to the point where I couldn't even kill a goddamn beetle without dying. It was just undodgeable, bro. And speaking of dodging, bro, this game needs a perfect dodge mechanic, or maybe a parry skill that you can unlock on a skill tree for every weapon. Please. Some skills that enemies do, or some attacks, are genuinely undodgeable. If you don't react instantly, you're getting hit by that skill and you're about to take hella damage. And you know, for the amount of players in this game, let's say bosses for example, I'm soloing a boss because there's literally no one online to help me with this boss, but this boss does instant attack strings that I can't get away from. I just gotta take that to the chin. And as far as PvP goes, no. Now I'm not just about to sit here and shit on the combat of this game, but I gotta be honest, and I gotta keep it a stack, bro. It could use some work, some serious work. I think a parry or perfect dodge would pretty much negate this problem perfectly, but until then, the helicopter NPCs is just not gonna work, bro. Now, with that, we've covered the main problems with this game, you know, being the game's progression, the quality of life content, and the combat, just pretty much short and summed up. I want to get into the strong points of this game, you know, starting out with the music. Now, anybody that knows me as a creator or has seen any previous episodes of Good, Great, or Garbage, y'all already know how I'm coming about this music. And Miss Gia Light, or Gia Light, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say her name, she did not miss. Straight, knowing just what I must do. Y'all know about that, bro. That intro song has me every time. And the boss music, cherry on top. Hold on. And the alternating floor music, bro. I remember when I hopped in Swordburst 3, I already knew it was gonna be nostalgic. From the floor 1 music and the music in New Arcadia, bro. Peak. From the intro scene. Music. I truly wish other people could experience and understand music the way me and other passionate music enjoyers do, because, you know, the music is goddamn good in Swordburst 3, and it's extremely underrated and people really look over that. But I'm not gonna go too deep into this because I'll rant about this for a long time. While this was a short segment, yeah, like, did your thing, girl. Floor after floor. In this series, I won't really cover graphics or VFX because pretty much every decent Roblox game has good graphics, and VFX is kind of like a unique thing in their own way. So there's honestly no good or bad rating for this, unless it's a brain rot game. It's more of a necessity to Roblox games now. Like, if the game just doesn't have good graphics, it's either a very niche game or just good graphics. Like, I think that's, you know, kind of a bare minimum for Roblox games going forward in 2026. Like, 2026, why are we playing pixelated games? Swordburst 3 has always been a personal favorite game of mine, and I tend to enjoy the simple farming games, so I don't have a problem with, you know, the repetition or low drop rates, because that's just what makes a game interesting to me personally. I would love other forms of entertaining progression that deviate from the regular quest spam, you know, and with that I can see exactly why people don't enjoy this game, because it does have quite a lot of cons for where it is in 2026, but that doesn't make the game bad. If anything, I think this game has a ton of potential to be great, or, you know, come back as an enjoyable experience. But as far as where it is right now with only less than 100 players, it does not deserve only less than 100 players. Not at all. Like, no, bro. There's so many games that deserve love, and Swordburst is one of them. Even Swordburst 2 has more players than Swordburst 3. I don't understand that one. I understand the nostalgic point, but holy. Now, if I miss any points that, you know, maybe I should have mentioned, y'all let me know something I don't know about Swordburst for those that are in the community. Let me know down in the comments below along with your thoughts on the game. And with that, if there's any devs or content creator managers that want me to review their game, be sure to hit me up on Discord at Atsuya__. And with that, if you enjoyed today's video and want to see more content from me as a creator, do hit my channel page and check out the playlist page tab there to check out content of mine that I've uploaded. With that, hope to catch you on the next one. Peace. And for those that are wondering why my eye is kind of, you know, welling up, I'm a boxer, for those of you who don't know, and I got headbutt like 2 days ago, so, you know, we got a little inflammation. Swelling is going down. Thank y'all for your concern. I'm good. I'm not getting beat up. I'm good, bro. Anyways, peace.